Hello, and welcome to Sparring Sessions. My name's Dax, and we're here today to break down best bets for UFC Fight Night, Zhang versus Walker. As always, I'm not doing this alone. I got my buddy, co-host, host last week. You did great, by the
Oh yeah,
way. How you
thank you,
doing,
man.
Big Will?
I'm doing all right, man. I appreciate the compliments. It's definitely out of my comfort zone, but it's pretty easy to do it a couple times. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to. I don't know if I'm gonna if I'm gonna sleep or if I'm just gonna ride it out the entire night like a European fan. But
God.
yeah, these fights should be pretty good. I saw people shitting on the card and all that, but I think it's a pretty decent card, especially the main card. The main card's pretty fire. So.
Yeah,
We got some good fights, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
main card, and then wake up at, I'm gonna wake up like 6 and go watch the fights, and then come back and watch the prelims. I think that's probably a pretty good experience, you know? That's how I did with the last China card, but you know what? Let's get right into it. You actually, I guess not. I didn't, so I wasn't on the last week. I didn't take any notes. I listened, but I was driving. So I know the parlay, we had a four-legger, it
Off the
probably was
cuff,
yeah, hesitant. Although the two biggest legs were the ones that lost. I was kind of surprised there, Azakura and Hooper. Um,
early
but yeah,
stoppage.
how'd you do last week betting wise? Well,
I didn't do too bad. I was pretty heavy on MVP. I did pretty good with Loopy.
nice.
I thought MVP was gonna do MVP things. I don't have everything I had last week. I guess I actually do if I go into my docs. This is live recording. So, what else did we have? Let's see where we went with.
I know
I
there's a
had
big
I
go
had
for it.
Mearshart in Macau under 1.5. I thought that was
Yep.
pretty free at minus 125. Uh, all my best bets actually hit. We had
Ooh.
Mearshart in Macau under 1.5. We had Godinez money line at minus 150. We had Prates by TKO at plus 115, and we had MVP money line at minus 195. And then I reverse swept with my value plays. So. There we go with that. But the best bets hit, and that's the most important stuff. So
Inshallah. Yeah, I only had two. Obviously, sweet. I didn't have them official, but I had MVP and the to start round one in that fight. I think I got that at minus 150.
to
I remember
start
there was
round
a
one,
yeah. Well, the MVP money line and that fight to start round one or to start round two.
I was about to
You know
say
what?
everybody starts round one.
You imagine getting that money at minus 1,000? Although for like a
Jesus,
Blanchfield fight, a Macy Barber fight, can't bet
but
that.
shoot,
Um, and then I had Murphy plus 3.5, which hit very minus 165. I like that. And then this is the last one. I think I had the main event to not go to decision. Who would have thought?
speaking of Murphy, that's got to be one of the biggest blunders that Vegas has had, huh? With Murphy being such a dog there.
Yeah. Did
That's
you
got
see
to
the
be a.
Tapology before that?
I did not. What was it?
I think it was 80% were picking Murphy. And they still had Pico minus 200. That's kind of crazy, huh?
If it looks like Vegas really believed in Pico, huh?
Maybe. When are they going to learn? Maybe we got some more PFL Bellator guys coming over, and
We
we'll
got one
see.
in Paris. We got Anti Delia, UFC Paris. I'm a fan of his, so I'm looking forward to him
Okay.
fighting.
Well,
Um,
it'll be you and his family cheering him on. I'll tell you that.
he's got a
Um,
fun style, man. He slaps some people, man.
that's true. That's true. So yeah, well, I guess let's jump right into UFC Fight Night, Walker versus Zhang, UFC Shanghai. Some people are calling it. Um, Good card, like you said. I overall, without spoiling anything, how do you feel about the lines? Good, bad compared to a normal fight card? You find some you like?
Um, there's some stuff wacky, man. I feel like I think betting on regional stuff is a lot easier than UFC at times because I've said this to you before. You and me are pretty hardcore fans. We watch everything we can. We've watched EFC on Thursday mornings together. Just like really like bottom of the barrel, like very like niche stuff. And I feel like if I barely know who a guy is, then how the hell does Vegas? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so I think there's certain fighters like in the Weston Wilson. I don't think Yi Jia should be a minus 2,000 against anybody. You know what I mean?
Oh God. Oh my God.
And he's a grappler pretty much. He's going into where Wilson wants. So like if Wilson won and it was some crazy upset, wouldn't be surprised at all. I think they throw those those 4-digit tags around a little bit too willy-nilly.
Yep.
But overall, I think it's pretty decent. There's just a couple here and there that might stand out. Maybe like that
Yeah.
heavyweight fight, a little weird, but
Oof. We'll
you
talk
know,
about that.
yes, sir.
And then another question I have for you. Uh, we have UFC fights not on a UFC card. So we have two official UFC bouts on the Road to UFC card on Friday. Did you look at those at all? Did you include them in your consideration? We only have money lines, so.
I did not, but I do know of them. If I were those UFC fighters, I'd be a little chapped over that, I think.
I
But
don't know. I feel like I've said for a while, I feel like they should do this with fighters who are about to be cut. Like these fighters are not, from what I can tell, none of these fighters are going to be cut on the road to UFC. But if you have two guys, same weight class, about to be dropped, throw them on a contender series fight, throw them on a road to card, and let the winner keep his job. But um, spoiler, none of my plays are coming from road to UFC. I thought they were going to. I thought we were going to get like Bruna Brazil at minus one something, but she's minus 320 right now, and I'm not touching that.
maybe when the lines will come out, maybe we can put up a graphic on like maybe like a bet or two for Road to UFC because we got guys like Aaron Till fighting. He's always
Yeah.
he's always fun. I don't know what his lines are. I don't know any
Ooh.
lines on those. I can't imagine they're pretty. But we like props around here, so when we get there, we'll figure it out.
I'll tell you, it's not going to be in my plays today, but there's two lines on that Road UFC card while we're talking about it. I was looking at Aaron Tao only a minus 175 against a guy who I think he's going to beat because I think he's better striking and grappling at. And then Kit Campbell is another Australian trained out of say kickboxing, and he's going against another striker, or I guess striker's the wrong word. A MMA guy, we'll just call him. And he's only minus 105, so I'm not going to officially play those, but maybe if you the listener is stronger than me, maybe you go for it. But we're here just today to talk about UFC Shanghai. What? Maybe. We'll talk about that later. First, though, best bets. We have 3 to 5 of our favorite plays. Um, Generally say minus 200 to plus 200. These are our strongest ones that we feel confident giving out. And then we'll have some value plays, some fun stuff later on. So, Will, how many best bets do you have today?
I have 4 best bets.
4? Okay. I have one,
Actually,
two, three,
make that 5. Sorry.
5. Okay.
Yeah.
I have 5 as well. So let's, since we have even numbers, let's start off with you. What is your first best bet?
That would be Yi Zhao versus Weston Wilson under 1.5 rounds at minus 170. I think that's a pretty good line because Wilson has durability issues and he's also a fight finisher. So
Hmm.
I think those guys are going to meet in the middle and somebody's going to, take a nap or they're going to tap. So, um, well, Weston Wilson has what, 3 UFC fights? They've all ended in the first round. I don't really think that will matter on Yujan's side because, like we said, Wilson's been finished a bunch, and I don't think Yujan is that good. He's been finished a few times as well.
Hmm.
One thing I will say, I truly think that there's a window of opportunity for Wilson to win because Yujan will go to the place that Wilson is best
Hmm.
for
Yep.
his own skill set. So if something happens and he makes a mistake on the ground, I would not be surprised because Wilson will definitely attempt those those submissions on the ground. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
like I said, under 1.5 is my best bet for to start off with.
Nice. Yeah. 26 of Wilson's fights, 26 professional fights, um, and then a number of amateur ones too. I'm not counting the amateur ones. All but three of them under 1.5, and all but five ending in the first round by win or loss, whatever it is. So I like that bet. I'm going to go first with the Herrera Dawkins fight. I think that's a weird fight. I'm not entirely sure. I have an idea of who's going to win. Um, but I'm gonna go with the under 1.5 at plus 155. Uh, it's people look at Herrera's last few fights. He hasn't looked great. He had the fluffy fight, round five. He kind of got beat up the entire thing, and then Abus Magomedov looked kind of shit. Looked kind of tepid. But before that, round one, when he's not conserving his energy like he was at welterweight, go back to his regional scene, everything pretty much round one. Um, and then Kyle Dawkins uh, finished his last fight in the first round and had a few more on the regional scene. And then the UFC got finished or finished pretty quickly. Not all of them in the first round, but for the most part, like I think they're going to come out here. They're going to swing and bang a little bit. And for Michelle Pereira, if you can get under 1.5 at plus money, I think you got to take that. Even if maybe this is like the last one. If he looks horrible here, maybe I'll reconsider. But I like Pereira. I like this number. Give it to me. What do you got next?
I'm gonna go with Santi Baldiev money line. He took a
Okay.
short notice fight against um, what was his name, Bude.
Uday.
And it was a pretty close fight if I remember. It wasn't like oh he ran away with it. He's minus 3,000 alive. It was damn near even. I think at certain points in the fight,
Mhm.
wise. Um, yeah, the guy he's fighting, man, he just has that weird tick where he's bringing
Yeah.
his hand up to his face. There's fighters that do that, things like that, but that one's really bad. Like Cowboy
Yeah.
rubbing his nose or Poirier lifting up his shorts, man.
Yep.
It's just like I don't know. It's a little much. I think that he'll probably make his way to a decision. They're both from a country that starts with K and ends with Stan, Kyrgyzstan, something whatever Stan. I don't know.
Is that
Uh,
Kazakhstan? Yeah.
Kazakhstan. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just think that the grappling there won't be such a grappling edge that Sati Baldiev is gonna be, wash, rinse, repeat. Dr. Nogaja, yeah, him. He looked so bad in his last fight against that guy. It just like it's like how serious are you taking your career if you're coming in on your debut and you're 5 pounds overweight for a light
Yep.
heavyweight? Like that's like we haven't seen that since like William Knight. Shout out William Knight.
Goat.
Um,
Goat Willie Knight.
I think he had to. Who did he fight? He fought someone at like a 215 catch weight because he came in
Was
like
that
10 pounds.
was that Marcin Prachnio and then he lost?
No, it was a different Russian guy. He's a
Hmm.
huge Russian dude. I forget his name, but um yeah, he had a weird UFC career as well. But yeah, I'm gonna take Sati Baldiev. Um I don't really know how good Nurgazan is. I don't know if wrestling will be his primary path to victory in this matchup. So yeah, I think him at that price is pretty good.
Hmm. Maxim Grisham. That's what you're thinking
That's
of.
that's exactly what I'm thinking of.
218.
There it is.
Gross.
I freaking knew it, man.
I like it. I actually scored the Badai fight for Salty Bodiev, so good with me. Um, Next up, I'm gonna go with Zhang, round one KO plus 100. I think it's by far the most likely outcome. Johnny Walker is a wonderful knocked out artist, and um, you look at his record. I mean, for the most part, whenever he's facing a power puncher, no offense to Anthony Smith, but facing a power puncher, um, he gets knocked out and pretty quickly. I mean, I guess if you discount the Thiago Santos fight, but that one was just a weird one. Um, and then on the other side, Ming Yang, it's been round one KOs the entire round, right? Right? when's the last time he didn't get a round one KO? Let me take a look. When he got a rear naked choke 6 years ago on the regional scene. Yeah, I think that's it. So I think it's the most likely outcome. I like Ming Yang. Ming Yang madness has taken over. And Johnny Walker, I mean, like, what does he have left at this point? He's not winning fights against guys who are like good. Um, and who's the last good guy he want to fight against? Ryan Spann? Maybe it's just time for him to
Good as a good as a stretch.
uh Khalil Roundtree. How about that? I'll give you Khalil Roundtree. Um, and like I think he kind of lost it. Maybe he needs to take some time off. Maybe he needs to go up to heavyweight. But whatever. I think there's a showcase for Min Yang Zhang, and I think he's going to take advantage. So yeah, plus 100 seems nice.
Can I play devil's advocate?
Ooh, okay.
We've seen Walker come in and fight pretty smart before. Um, like I would not be surprised if Walker came in like he came in against Iwan Kutalaba and had his wrestling shoes on
Hmm.
and tried to take him down to the ground because I think that's clearly the path to victory. Friend of the show, Tuco Tucos took down Zhang a time or
Yep.
two. Funny enough, that's been his toughest fight under the Zuma banner.
I know.
I don't know. Zhang ate some insane shots from Zuko,
Yeah.
elbows off the clinch, and I was like, how is this guy still standing? And he never looked phased by any of it. And it's
Yep.
I don't know. I think he can definitely play the technical game like he did against Anthony Smith. Not a great win in hindsight, but still he can definitely strike from distance against the fighter and win a decision that way. But Zhang's gonna bring the fire to Walker, and um, I think if Zhang really disrespects Walker, Walker can still catch people. Um, I think the most composed we've ever seen was him against Kutalaba when he
Yeah.
wrestled him and choked him out. That was like everybody was like, "Whoa, that's like some evolution right there from Johnny Walker," and he's so athletic that I don't know. He might come out and fight like an idiot, but his brother's really riding high in the UFC. So
Hmm.
maybe he's gonna pull. Imagine Johnny like has him against the cage and he pulls a 50-50 and then he'll
Hmm.
hook him. He'll hook man. Yeah, that would be hilarious,
That would
man.
be
But
crazy.
I just think I think the fight should be a little closer. But I mean, who really cares? I do think it's interesting though.
I just think I think Tuco. Let me put it this way: I think Tuco is a better wrestler than Johnny Walker at this point. And I think um, Tuco. They only credit him with one takedown attempt. He went one for one officially. If you watch that fight and you count like the trips he tries, it's more like one for three or four. Um, and I don't know. I trust the grappling here. My let me put it this way: my concern, how I think this loses, is one of two things. He not goes for a club and sub, which I don't think he will, or he somehow gets clinched up and it goes to the second round and then he wins. So I'm not too concerned. If you wanted to go Zhang KO here, you could. I don't hate that number. It's what was I looking at? It's um minus 265, parlayable, yes, but maybe round one or two you could go. I don't hate that either.
I I, I guess this is a good way to go into my next
Ooh, let's hear it.
value picks. I have Walker Zhang to end round one at minus 172.
Yeah.
Um, neither guy is really durable. We've seen Zhang finished a bunch early on in his career by submission, by knockout. So he's no stranger to being finished himself. This is a little ahead of myself, but we do something here. You and me have done something for years at this point. Under half a round is plus 180. Um,
Yep.
I don't hate it. That's pretty on par for anytime we hit a half a round, like in the Terrence McKinney fight. Anytime you see Terrence McKinney fight under half a round, book it. Um, so yeah, I think plus 180 for under half a round because I mean, Zhang might only need one to put him
Yep.
down. So unless
Is
they
that an
look at each other.
official best bet?
Yeah, that's a value pick. I know we're
Value.
not there
Okay,
yet, but I just wanted to throw it
fair
in there
enough.
since we're sitting here speaking about it a
Yeah,
bunch.
yeah.
Um, yeah, man, I think I don't think it's I don't think it's bad. Unless I don't think they're going to stare at each other for 2.5 minutes and
No,
feel each other
God
out.
no.
So they're going to meet each other in the middle and go ahead.
All right. The Walker Zhang round one is an official one. All right, minus
Oh yeah,
175.
yep,
All right,
yep.
sweet. Maybe you'll hear more about that from me later. But for now, I'm going my next best bet. I'm gonna regret this. I know I am, but I can't stop looking at this number and wondering why this is how it is. I'm going Walter Cortez Acosta plus 190. He he should not be at plus 190. Sergey Pavlovich should not be at minus 255 to anybody south of like a Tafa at this point. Maybe a let me look at the rankings. Who's like the highest ranked guy that I would put him as a minus 250 against? Maybe okay, Tai Tuivasa. Tai Tuivasa is ranked 10 still? Jesus Christ, heavyweight's awful.
Well, they just signed those guys off contenders just
Yeah,
immediately.
you
They're
see
like,
that?
"Hey, all aboard!"
Ugh, so stupid. Yeah, WCA, great run. Only loss is to Rogerio de Lima, and he looks like he's fixed up his grappling game since then. I mean, he stuffed a bunch of Sergey Spivak's takedowns. Um, Same with Ryan Spann, stuffed a few of his. He's got a little bit of power. I think Sergey Pavlovich is kind of like playing it safe in his career now. Especially like against Volkov, he didn't go for any. He wasn't like the berserker that he was against on his come up. And I think WCA can kind of use his boxing, a little bit of his power. He's got good leg kicks. He's got a good jab, and even if he wants to wrestle, like we've seen Pavlovich. I guess the only time we've seen him wrestle was against Overeem, and that did not go well for him. And
That did not.
that was 7 years ago. He's probably short of a bit, but
Also in China.
also in China. Oh, I didn't notice that. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I remember
Um,
watching Overeem smear his face across the canvas at 5 in the morning.
that's awesome. But yeah, I like WCA plus 190. I thought he was, when I first saw the odds, I thought he was the minus 210. I'm like, 250. I'm like, yeah, all right. So give me WCA. What you got next, Will?
I'm gonna go with Gage Young money line at minus
Hmm.
122. I don't think Mahashate is that good. Is like he hangs his hat on knocking out Steve Garcia like 3.5 years ago or whatever it was. Um, Whatever. He caught him cold a minute in. He loses the round for Garcia, Slava Claus. He goes life or death with Gabriel Benitez, and then he loses the decision of Nicholas Moda. I don't think much of Mahashate anymore. I
Nope.
don't think I ever did. Gage Young's new, new guy in the UFC. He just lost to my guy Evan Elder. I was at that fight. It was a pretty good fight. Evan Elder hit him with like 150 significant strikes. But Gage Young was still trailing behind, not too close, but close enough. I think Mahashate is very defensively irresponsible on the inside, and I think that's where Gage Young will want to get. So uh, for my money, give me Gage Young, and I could definitely see Gage Young knocking Mahashate out. Um, I don't think much of Mahashate, so yeah, give me Gage Young money line at minus 122.
Well, it's interesting you say that. I am picking Gage Young. He's not one of my best bets, but I'm going with that fight to go to decision. Mashate Gage Young. Um, Only minus 130, and Yuka Gage Young, G Money, love the nickname, by the way. Uh, his two fights in like Zuffa, whatever, Contender Series and UFC, both decision losses. But he lost to Quillian Salkeld, who's, out here uh, getting a lot of finishes. Not, he went to decision against Alex Moose, but so
Don't remind me.
if he loses, Mahashate, 75% of his losses are by decision, 50% of his wins. And Gage Young, 67% of his three losses, so 2 out of 3 are by decision. I just think this is a good number for two guys who are pretty tough, even if they're not, you know, top of the division, but um, we're probably going to get some wrestling. We're probably going to get some um, clinching, some distance striking. Why not go? Why not go to decision? So yeah, -130. I'll take it. And I believe we are at your last best bet, Will.
Is the truth. We are going to go with Charles Johnson money line at
Ooh,
plus 170. Um,
okay.
I like Kavanaugh. He's nice, but I think that he's shown that he's pretty human. After his contender series knockout that he's had. I think Charles Johnson's a really big a vet in terms of his experience in the UFC, like by far, compared to Kavanaugh. I think Charles Johnson will be able to fend off the wrestling early on,
Yep.
and I don't think Charles Johnson's ever lost a third round in the UFC. So,
Interesting.
so it's like he's like the reverse Peter Yan. Um,
Yeah.
like he's always gonna drop that first round or whatever. Like Jan's always gonna, but then you know Charles Johnson's always gonna win the third round, like no matter what it is. He's the 5 round fighter.
Hmm.
You know, he was doing 5 round fights outside the UFC. I think that Johnson's win over Van is aging as good as you could, possibly have at age. Um, so yeah, I think Charles Johnson's gonna vet his way to a decision. I hope Kavanaugh's ties to China doesn't give like a. I just feel like this fight's gonna be so close, and at
Yeah.
that point, you might as well just take the underdog. So yeah, give
Yeah.
me Charles Johnson money line plus 170. I hope it's not one of those screwy decisions, man. Um,
Mm.
unfortunately for Johnson, he's been on
He,
the wrong end for a few of those.
I was gonna
But
say he's the Angela Hill of men's flyweight.
God,
Um, no, I like it. I like it. I definitely think the minus what 210 is way too big for Kavanaugh. And Will, I'm kind of cheating here with my last one. And you're not gonna like this pick. I know you're not gonna like this pick, okay? I'm not going with a UFC fight. I saw this number and I'm like, wow, I need to play this as one of my best bets. I don't care if I'm cheating. I don't care if it's not on UFC. PFL has got their tournament finals. Do you know where I'm going with this? I hope you do. Um,
are you going with Romanov?
I am going with Alexander Romanov
Come on, I know
as
you,
my
man.
last best bet. Um,
It's Thursday
no,
night,
listen,
right?
Thursday night, 6 p.m. Eastern. You got some, none going on 9 p.m. main card. I don't hate it. Listen,
Where are they
Oleg
having that
Popov,
at Poughkeepsie, New York? I'm just
Hollywood,
joking.
Florida.
Sounds about right.
Um, but yeah, listen, Alexander Romanov, his three losses, Marcin Tybura, should have been a draw. Alexander Volkov, Jailton Almeida. Great guys, right? Top of their division for the most part. Would instantly win any of uh, PFL's heavyweight tournaments, I think. Um, and then he got a standing Gilly over Tim Johnson in this finals, whatever. And then he had that weird fight with Valentin Moldavsky where he got kneed in the groin and they just asked the judges like, "Hey, who should advance?" And they picked Romanov for some reason. Like who looked better? Weird. Anyway, Oleg Popov on the other side uh, has not been beating the level of competition that I think um, merits a -220 over a guy who has several UFC wins, Uh, and then he got triangled against Denis Golsov in the first round of
Oh,
last year's
bueno.
tournament. No bueno. So I think Romanov, he's a round one fighter for sure. If this gets to the second round, hammer Popov money line, but I think he can get it done here. I think he can take him down, get a choke, maybe get an arm or something. And if everything else fails, he can get kicked in the nuts and win by that somehow. I don't know the rules of the finals, but it, give me Alexander Romanov as my last best bet. I got a thing for fat Russian grapplers, and it's going to continue here.
Speaking of that, if I think I am the sparring session's chief fat correspondent. So, if there's one thing I know about, it's fat fighters. Yeah. Romanov is looking pretty heavy at the face-offs. You know, we've seen him come in and out of
Oh my God.
dropping 30 pounds, and
Jesus
he's
Christ.
actually fights better when he's fat. So
I noticed that. What was the one?
it's
Was
so
it the Volkov
so
one that he came in
so.
light?
I think he came in light a few times, but I think he also reverted back to being fat in between those times. So I think he's been fat, skinny, and then just so on.
Yeah.
So I don't know where his head is at that. I think the weight helps him in his style. So
Hmm.
yeah, I don't hate that at all.
Alrighty. I think, let me take a look. At he weighed in at 225 for a grappling fight with Chris Daukaus? What? That's kind of crazy. 239 for Marcin Tybura, maybe? I don't know. Whatever it is,
It
you know
might
I
be the
love my
Tybura fight that's pretty light for that.
yeah. Okay. Let's jump into the sparring sessions part. Or actually, I'll recap real quick. I have per
Whoa,
Daukaus under
whoa,
one and a
whoa,
half.
whoa, whoa, whoa! I
What?
still
What?
have
What?
some
What?
value. I still have some value picks. I still have some
Oh, well,
value
later. I got
picks.
to recap the best bets.
Oh,
Recap
I'm
the
so.
best bets.
Oh, I thought you were about to skip out on me, man.
No, no, we got plenty more show.
Okay,
Real
cool,
quick
cool.
for Iridakis, under one and a half. Zhang round one KO. WCA money line. Mashate Young to go the distance. Romanov money line. Will you have Yijia Wilson under one and a half? Salty Baldiev money line. Walker Zhang round one to end in round one. Gage Young and Charles Johnson. Pretty good. Pretty good slate of best bets there. So let's jump into the sparring sessions parlay of the week, and then we'll close you out with some value plays. We have Genie's money line first, or leg first. It's going to be Kevin Borjas at plus 140, 145 actually, excuse me. Go back and listen to the preview show if you want to know why. We both picked him. I like it. It's a good money line. It's probably a bit of a mistake, but for Vegas, mistake line, but you know, that's what gives parlays their juice, right? So, Will, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'm gonna take one of your best bets and have it as a value pick. I'm taking WCA money line at plus 200. I got him at Waldo Cortez Acosta. If you're not privy to WCA, but yeah, man, I think that ever since he got knocked out, he hasn't really looked great. You know, he beat Rosie, whatever, wrestled Rosie. He looked shit against Volkov. And looked and had visible frustration about that fight with Volkov. So, yeah, I don't think I can say much more than you did. I like Waldo Cortez Acosta money line because this will probably go to a decision. We haven't seen Waldo knocked out in the UFC, I don't think, right?
No,
No.
ever.
So he's pretty defensively responsible on the feet. So yeah, give me Cortez Acosta money line.
Now you two you guys both have underdogs now. I was gonna pick a big favorite as mine, but do I want to do it? You know what? For my leg, I'm gonna go the uh I'm gonna steal one from you. How about that? I'll go the under one and a half in the Weston Wilson Yijia fight. I was gonna go Zhang, but it's too much. I get that at minus 170. So Kevin Borjas, Waldo Cortez Acosta, Weston Wilson, Yijia under one and a half. Put them all together. You know what that gets us, Will? Plus 1028. That's
There you
a
go.
that's a pretty good parlay, I'll tell you that. Let me get that down real quick. All right. Well,
I
we
was
got
talking to a lot of gamblers, man, that they only want to bet chalk, but it's like the only way you really can get ahead, man, is if you're betting plus money. You know what I mean?
yeah. You
Like,
got to figure out what like that Murphy line last week. You got to figure
yeah,
out where Vegas knows more than you, or well,
yeah,
where you know more than Vegas, and then
yeah,
on the other
yeah.
side when Vegas knows what it's doing. So, uh, value plays. Since you went first on the best bets, I'm gonna go on the first on my value plays. How many you got this week? Was this a value play heavy week for you?
Technically four.
I got eight for you.
Okay.
Um, so I'll go first. I'll give four. You give two. I'll give four. You give two. How about
All
that?
right.
So first up, I'm going to go Weston Wilson plus 700. You said it yourself, he can win. Um, he's going right. Yijia is going to go right to where Weston Wilson loves to be on the ground. He's a upstate karate guy. He's training with Wonder Boy. So you're hoping his stand-up's improving a little bit, even if he is 36, you know? Um, and he did get a win over Jekasaragi. He has a UFC win. Yijia has a UFC loss to Gabriel Santos, a jiu-jitsu guy with a little bit of striking. And he's got 5 losses. So I think plus 700, I'm not betting it, but I think these are crazy odds, you know? Um, Next up, I have two from the same fight. WCA Pavlovich to go to decision plus 170. We've been talking about how that could go over, or WCA decision plus 375. It depends on your flavor here, how much you want to risk it. But I don't know. I kind of like those numbers, and I don't think WCA is getting a knockout. Pavlovich has been pretty durable. Um, So pick and choose there. And then for my last of the first round, I'm going to go Brian Ortega money line plus 225. Uh, I just think these odds are crazy. I think he's going to be a lot bigger than Aljo, and I think he's going to be uh, I think have the better striking, and I wouldn't say he's going to have the better jiu-jitsu, but he's going to have the more dangerous jiu-jitsu. So I think there are plenty of ways for him to win. I thought this fight was going to be a pick 'em. And yeah, give me Brian Ortega. Even if he hasn't looked phenomenal, he's been losing to top level guys. We'll see if Aljo's up there. So those are my first four. Will, let's hear your first batch.
We are going to go with we already spoke about this. We're gonna go with the Walker Zhang under half a round
Yep.
plus 180.
Yep.
And then you heard me just speak about this as well. Waldo Cortez close to money line plus
Mm,
200. That's got it. Those two have got to be in there. I think they're both pretty strong, and I think you and I both can see where they both easily hit. So short
yep.
and sweet for me. Rattle your next four off.
Mhm. All right, I'll go real quick here. These are kind of, well, I'll go with the first one. Dalton Rasta, PFL plus 165. I don't like Fabian Edwards at all. I don't like him as a fighter or in this fight. And I think Dalton Rasta uh, can win. I mean, he's only got one loss, and that's the Aaron Jeffrey wrestling decision. I don't think Fabian Edwards is going to come in here to wrestle. Um, and Sadhusi and Fabian Edwards, not very far apart in my mind. Dalton Rasta won that fight handily against Sadhusi this year. Um, so yeah,
Too
give
soon. Too
me,
soon.
sorry, Sadhusi round 3 KO, right?
Oh yeah.
Give me Dalton Rasta plus 165. Next up, Zhao KO, Long Zhao KO plus 650. He got a KO against Quang Lee, and he has a few KOs. And Su Young Yu has lost by KO not too recently. Um, I think I think this could happen, and it's just kind of a big number for a guy who I think has the power advantage here. Um, I got two submissions, both at plus 900. Pereira sub plus 900. Uh, Michelle Pereira, we've seen him get a few of those club and subs, knock him down, get the gilly or the rear naked choke. And for a guy who's hit it in two of his past 3 wins, plus 900 is a crazy number. And then last but not least, you said it earlier, you kind of hinted at it. Zhang uh, Walker by submission, Johnny Walker plus 900. Maybe he is training with his brother. Maybe he is going to come in and rip the heel hook. Um, Zhang has lost by submission before twice, so it's just kind of a crazy, crazy number to throw out there. Maybe he does come in, try to wrestle, play it smart, but I, I like these crazy numbers, kind of uh, guessing at fight ending in a crazy way sometimes. So that's all I got. Will, you want to round us out?
All right, man. I'm gonna clip from here. No, I'm kidding.
Uh,
I think if you think of a Michelle Pereira fight, you would think
yep,
the under would be favored, and it
yep.
is not. So, y- logic would tell you if Michelle Pereira is a minus 270, whatever he is, then the under 1.5 would probably be chalky at that point
Yeah.
because he's had his most success in round one, and then he falls off a cliff after that. Um, you know where I'm from. I live just
Mhm.
outside of Philadelphia. I am in Delaware County, Delco, as they call it. If you know, you know.
Okay.
Uh, I gotta go with Kyle Dawkins money line at plus 220.
Oh, okay.
I think he has a path to victory that's very clear. I think he can try to put the grappling on Michelle Pereira from the door and lay on him and make him work against the cage. Get that lactic acid up in those biceps.
Yep. Yep.
Take that explosiveness, take the athleticism away from Michelle Pereira. And I think that, man, if this gets out of the first round, man, I could really see Dawkins winning, man. And that brings me to my next value pick, Dawkins by sub at plus 650.
Ooh.
He has some legit ground game skills. We've seen him pull off submissions. His nickname's the Dark Knight, Felix
Mhm.
Wishes. But, I think his style's too good to pass up against Pereira because Pereira literally has like 2 minutes in him and then he's cooked.
Yeah, that's it.
Um, and if he comes out and is composed, I mean, then it's 50-50. I think at
Hmm.
that point. Yeah, man, give me Dawkins money line plus 200 and then Dawkins sub at plus 650 because this is a short notice fight back into the
Yep.
UFC. He's saving a fight. He's gonna go for broke, come back into the UFC, uh, and really go for it here. So yeah, give me Dawkins, man.
Wonderful. If we learned anything from today in all of our bets on that fight, it's gonna be a crazy fight.
Yeah.
Uh, Sweet. So those are all of our best or our value plays, best bets, sparring sessions, parlay of the week. We're not going to be back next week with the usual schedule. We're still working out what we're going to do there, but we will be back for our usual schedule week after UFC Paris. Should be a good one, and we'll be back to recap our bets from this week, give some more winning plays, and thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, Will. Thanks for joining me as
Yes,
always.
sir. Good time.
And yeah, hope you win some money. Enjoy the card. Talk to you later.
Peace.